Today I'll be showing you how to create the classic waffle stitch. This beautifully textured stitch creates a thick, squishy fabric that's ideal for blankets, cushions, and other cozy projects. The front features the distinctive waffle pattern made up of raised and recessed squares, while the back has its own attractive textured design. Although it may seem a little tricky during the first few rows, it's actually based on a simple 2-row repeat. Once the pattern starts to emerge, it becomes much easier to recognize where each stitch belongs. So let's get going. I'm going to do my swatch in this lovely variegated acrylic yarn, and I'm using a 4mm hook. Once you've done your slip knot, you'll need a multiple of 3 chains plus 2. So I've done 23 chains here, so that would give me 21, plus 2 is 23. You would make the number of chains until your project is as wide as you want it to be. And then you would add your 2 chains at the end. The first row is a foundation row of double crochet. So after your starting chain, you're going to yarn over and work your first double crochet into the 3rd chain from the hook. So it's insert your hook, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through the 2 loops, and then yarn over and pull through the last 2 loops. That is your double crochet. You're going to make a double crochet into every stitch or into every chain to the end. This row gives us the base that we'll need to start creating the waffle texture in the following rows. When you've completed all your double crochets and get to the end of the chain, you should have 21 double crochets. So if you don't have 21, then you've either missed a chain or you've doubled up. So it's just important to keep your stitch count for the pattern. I'm going to carry on and complete the row. I'll see you when I get to the end. I've reached the end of my foundation row and I now have 21 double crochets. Row 2 is the first row of our 2-row repeat. To begin, chain 3 and turn your work. This chain 3 acts as a turning chain and also counts as the first double crochet of the row. From here we'll start creating the raised stitches that give the waffle stitch its distinctive texture. Now we're going to work a front post double crochet around the 2nd stitch of the row below. You skip the first stitch. So a front post double crochet, you want to put your hook behind the post and around it so that your hook pops out the other side. There we go. Then you're going to grab the yarn and pull through a loop. Pull through that loop. Right, and then you'll complete the double crochet as per normal. Yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through the last 2 loops, and that is a front post double crochet. Now it's 2 normal double crochets into the next 2 stitches. So yarn over, insert your hook, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through the 2, and yarn over, pull through the last 2, and then again yarn over, insert your hook in that top of the double crochet below, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through the last 2, and then you repeat with a front post double crochet into the next stitch, followed by 2 regular double crochets worked into the top of the double crochets below. 1 and 2. And front post double crochet to the next stitch and double crochet into the next 2 stitches. 1 and 2, and then front post double crochet into the next one. And I'm going to carry on until I just get to the end of the row and meet you there to show you how to end off. When you get to the end of the row, you'll have 2 stitches and then the tiny 2 chains that you made at the beginning on that first row setup. I've just made 2 normal double crochets, so I'm going to do 1 front post double crochet, and then I'm going to do 1 normal double crochet into the top of the last double crochet of the row, and I'm just ignoring those 2 turning chains that I made at the beginning of the round, or the end of the previous round. So just to recap, you started with a chain 3, and then you've repeated a front post double crochet, 2 double crochets, front post double crochet all the way along, and you've ended with just 1 double crochet. Now we'll start row 3. Row 3 is the second of the 2 row repeat. We're going to chain 3, and then we're going to turn our work. That chain 3 counts as your first double crochet. We're going to start by doing a double crochet into the top of that next stitch along. We skipped the first stitch because that was where we made our chain 3. You'll notice that the next 2 stitches in the row below have these little V shapes popping forward. I've marked them on the screen. These are the regular double crochets we made in row 2, and they naturally stand out from the piece. We are going to work a front post double crochet around both of these stitches. They're easy to identify because they poke forward slightly towards you, so they're quite visible from the front. So work a front post double crochet around each of these 2 posts. Right, we are completing our 2 front post double crochets. Now you'll see the next stitch is slightly back, it's set slightly back. That's where you're going to do a normal double crochet. So into the top of that stitch, a normal double crochet, just 1 normal double crochet, and then you'll see the 2 forward stitches from the row below. You're going to do 2 front post double crochets around those, just like we've done at the beginning. As the project carries on, it gets a bit easier to distinguish which stitch goes where. So you're just going to carry on doing a single double crochet into the stitches that are set a little bit further back, and then 2 front post double crochets into the 2 stitches that are a little bit forward, and you'll repeat that to the end of the row. I'll keep going, and then I'll meet you back at the end of the row to show you how to finish off. Right, so I've got 2 front post double crochets left to do here, so I'll insert my hook and complete that first one of the last batch, and then the next one, and then you'll see you've got 2 stitches left, a normal double crochet and then that chain at the end. So you're going to do your normal double crochet into the top of that front post from the row below, and then you're going to do another normal double crochet into the chain 3 from the end, and that completes your row. So we finished off this row with 2 normal double crochets, and if you count your stitches you should still have 21 stitches, otherwise you've missed something along the way. So you'll chain 3 and then turn your work around, and you're just going to repeat rows 2 and 3 all the way up until you are happy with the size of your project. So we've just completed row 3, and now we're going to repeat row 2. So we've chained 3, turned our work. Remember that chain 3 counts as the first double crochet of the row, and then we are going to work a front post double crochet around that first double crochet from the row below. you'll see it was set forward. Now the double crochets from the row below are set back. We're going to do a normal double crochet into each of those, and then the next stitch is set forward, so it's a front post double crochet around that one, and then the next two are set back, so it's a normal double crochet into the next two, and then the next one is set forward, so it's a front post double crochet around that one, and then two normal double crochet into the next two, and so you repeat, just going along, a front post around stitches set forward and a normal double crochet into those set back. And if we go all the way to the end, that would be row 2 done, and I'm just going to keep going here. You'll see the waffle-like pattern starting to form. It's the combination of stitches that pop forward and stitches that are back that create the texture of the waffle pattern. So we're coming up to the end of the row here. I've just completed 2 normal double crochets. I'm going to do the last stitch, which is popped forward, so we know it's a front post double crochet, and in that chain 3 from the beginning of the previous round, we are going to do a normal double crochet into the top of the chain 3 from the end of the previous round. So we've completed our repeat of row 2, and now we are going to do another row 3. So chain 3, and then turn your work, and then just as we did previously, the stitches that are set back are going to get a normal double crochet, and those that pop forward are going to get a front post double crochet. So this first one is a normal double crochet, and then the next 2 are front post double crochets because they're obviously popping forward. So second front post double crochet, and then normal double crochet because it's set back, and then 2 front post double crochets, 1, 2, and then a normal double crochet. So you'll be repeating this along the row, your 2 front post double crochet, normal double crochet, all the way along to the end of the row. Now that you've reached the end of the row, you'll see you've got 2 stitches left. The one that's sunk back from you, so that gets a standard normal double crochet into the top, and then your turning chain of 3, which counts as the double crochet from the other end, and you're just going to do a normal double crochet into the top of that, and then chain 3, and then you would repeat row 2, and you just keep going for as long as you want your project to be. I am going to keep going and repeat row 2 just to get a bit more height so you can see what the swatch looks like a little bit bigger. So you're welcome to crochet along with me if you want to. I won't be chatting too much more, but yeah, thanks for joining me, and I will see you at the end if you want to just skip forward to the end and see how I finished off. Right, so that's how it's developed. I love this waffle stitch texture. You might find that it just needs a little bit of rearranging. It can start to scrunch up a little bit, so just stretch out your front post double crochets to make sure that they're all nice and even. Thanks so much for joining me. I hope this was helpful, and I look forward to doing another tutorial.